Hello everyone. Today, I will tell you a story full of questions, mysteries, and adventures. This story is called Forest of Unanswered Riddles. Please relax, close your eyes if you like, and let your mind follow the journey. Once upon a time, there was a small village at the edge of a deep, green forest. The people in the village spoke of the forest in soft voices. They called it the Forest of Unanswered Riddles, for inside the woods were mysteries that nobody could solve. In this village lived a curious girl named Mira. Mira was 10 years old. She had bright eyes and always wanted to know why things happened. She loved listening to old stories, asking questions, and thinking about answers. If someone said, "The sky is blue," Mira would ask, "Why is it blue?" If she saw a butterfly, she would wonder, "Where is it flying to?" One cool autumn afternoon, Mira's grandmother told her about the forest. She said, "Long ago, people went into the forest and found riddles hanging from tree branches, written on stones, or whispered by the wind. Some riddles had answers, but others never did. These were the unsolved mysteries of the forest." Myra's eyes shone with excitement. "Grandmother, has anyone ever answered all the riddles?" she asked. Grandmother shook her head. "No, no one ever has. But if you love questions, perhaps you can try." Mira spent the night thinking about the forest. She was a little afraid, but even more curious. Early the next morning, she tied her shoes, put a notebook and pencil in her bag, and set out for the forest. The trees in the forest were tall and full of color. Sunlight danced on the leaves. Birds sang gentle songs. As Mira walked deeper, the air became cool and the light was soft. Suddenly, she heard a voice. "Who comes to the forest of riddles?" A small squirrel popped out from behind a rock. "I am Mira," she said. "I am here to find riddles and try to answer them." The squirrel nodded. "Riddles are everywhere here. The first one is for you. Listen. I have roots that nobody sees. I am taller than trees. Up, up I go, but I never grow. What am I?" Mira thought. She remembered stories with riddles. She thought, "What is roots, is very high, but doesn't grow like a plant." She smiled and answered, "A mountain." The squirrel clapped its tiny hands. "Very good, Mira. You may go deeper into the forest." With a cheerful heart, Mira walked on. The path twisted around ferns and moss. Soon she met a wise-looking owl sitting on a low branch. "Who walks the riddle path?" the owl asked. "I am Mira, here to solve riddles," she said. The owl moved its head and then asked, "I fly without wings. I cry without eyes. Whenever I go, darkness flies. What am I?" Mira thought, "What can fly without wings, cry without eyes, and make darkness go away?" Then she said, "The answer is cloud, maybe rain, or is it the sun?" The owl nodded, "It can be the sun or the wind. I like your answer, so you may pass." Mira thanked the owl and went on. She realized that sometimes, riddles could have more than one answer. She made a note in her notebook, "Not all riddles have only one answer." Walking deeper, Mira found a strange tree. Its trunk was twisted and its branches were decorated with little pieces of paper. Each paper had a riddle. Mira picked one and read. "I am taken from a mine, and shut up in a wooden case, from which you will never release me, and yet I am used by everyone. What am I?" Mira thought hard. Taken from a mine? Must be some kind of metal? Shut in wood but never let out? Used by everyone. She looked at her own pencil. Is it pencil lead? Immediately, the wind blew and the tree rustled. Mira taped her answer under the paper and left with a little more confidence. After a little while, Mira came to a stream. The water was cold and clear. On a big rock by the stream, she saw another riddle, written in green chalk. "What belongs to you, but others use it more than you do?" She thought for a while and then smiled. My name. My name belongs to me, but others use it when they call me." She wrote her answer on the rock with her own piece of chalk. Just then, a frog jumped onto the rock. "You are smart," said the frog, "but some riddles here do not have answers. Are you ready for those?" Mira paused. She had never thought of riddles without answers. "I think so," she replied. Deeper she walked, her shoes crunching on leaves. Soon, everything became quiet. In a clearing, soft light fell on a stone table. On the table was one question, written in big letters. "What is the sound of one leaf falling?" Mira sat and listened. She heard birds, the wind, soft rustlings, maybe a leaf, maybe not. She waited. She closed her eyes and listened with her heart. But there was no one clear answer. Every time a leaf fell, she heard something different. She wrote in her notebook, "Sometimes, an answer is to listen and wait." Further on, she met a fox, golden and bright. The fox laughed, "Here is a hard one. The more you take, the more you leave behind." "What are they?" Mira said, "Footsteps." The fox bowed and said, "Good. But try this. If you have me, you want to share me. If you share me, you do not have me. What am I?" Mira laughed. "A secret." The fox nodded and told her, "Riddles make the old forest happy. But some riddles will stay unanswered. Can you accept that?" Mira sat on a soft patch of moss and thought. She realized that sometimes it is good not to know everything. Sometimes mystery makes the world beautiful. She found another note on a tree. "Why do people dream?" Mira smiled and wrote, "Because we hope, we wish, and we wonder." As she walked, Mira found riddles everywhere, on feathers, on acorns, on stones and in the air. Some were easy. Some were hard. Many she could answer. Some she could not. As the sun was setting, Mira turned to leave the forest. The squirrel joined her. "The forest is happy you came, Mira. Did you find all the answers?" Mira shook her head. "No. Some riddles have no answer. Some have more than one. Some are not about answers at all, but about asking, about listening, and about wondering." The squirrel smiled. "Remember, sometimes the question is the answer." When Mira returned home, her grandmother hugged her. "Did you solve all the riddles?" Grandmother asked. "No," said Mira, "but I learned that unanswered riddles make life interesting. It is okay to wonder. It is good to ask. Sometimes the mystery is the best part of the journey." That night, Mira wrote in her notebook, "Today I went to the forest of unanswered riddles. I found many questions. Some I answered, some I did not. I learned not to be afraid of mysteries. The forest is full of wonders for those who ask, listen, and imagine." From that day on, Mira was never afraid to ask questions, to wonder, and to listen for the answers that sometimes come quietly, like a leaf falling in the forest. Thank you for listening to my story. Good night, and may you always enjoy the mystery of unanswered riddles.